You know what's funny? The Niners have a game this week, and it's
and you wouldn't know it because we're
right.
talking
Like
about anything.
usually, like when they play a team like Wednesday, like there'll be questions for Kyle, like, "Hey, so what do you see from their quarterback? What do you think about their coach? What do you think about?" No one asked anyone a single question about the Seahawks this week. You know why? Because they suck. Take it personal, Seattle. Your team sucks. That being said, they're coming off a bye week. They have a lot of talent. One of the more underperforming teams in the league this year, like DK, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba it might be the best of them all. They have Kenneth Walker the third, who's way better than Kenneth Walker the second. And don't even get me started on Kenneth Walker the first. Give me a reason why the Seahawks have a chance against the Niners.
Well, this is going to be a tough sell because Geno Smith is their quarterback, and I understand that. But they do have some things going in their favor. You talked about the bye week, which we know that's a big deal. I mean, being rested and having 2 weeks to prepare and just healing your body at this point is great. Although the 49ers just had a bye week like a week ago, so they're pretty well rested too. But having a bye week, I think, plays. Also, Abe Lucas, their right tackle, they're finally getting him back. He hasn't played all year, and he was one of the young, up-and-coming right tackles in the game. He had an injury last year. He was out longer than I think people expected. He's making his debut on Sunday. And no, he's not going to be what he was before, I'm sure. It's going to take a while to ramp up, but he can't be worse than what they've had because what they've had has been the worst in the league. So that's going to be helpful for him. In DK Metcalf's absence, he will be back this week, which is helpful as well. But JSN broke out in a big way, man. JSN was supposed to be Puka Nacua. And Puka Nacua came out and balled the way that he did. JSN was supposed to be Puka. He turned into that over the last couple weeks when DK was out. He showed that he's a really good player. So now you've got 3 receivers you can rely on. They're also going to have 3 starters back on their defense, mainly both of their defensive tackles that missed the last time that they played against the 49ers. And the last thing I would say is they're just as desperate as the 49ers. This is a must-win for both teams. It really is. If the Seahawks want any chance to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. They cannot go 0-2 against 49ers. And if the 49ers, frankly, want any chance to make the playoffs, they can't lose to the Seahawks. Both of these teams are going to be very, very desperate. So I think for those reasons, the Seahawks might be a little bit more of a live dog than people want to give them credit for. But ultimately, yeah, Geno Smith is tough to overcome. And I try to give as many possible answers as I could.
Yeah, I thought you did a pretty good job. I mean, there's a lot to like about the Seahawks. There's a reason you thought they would be the team that was like on the come up this year in the NFC West. And I think it still comes back to Geno. Maybe that's unfair. Maybe the head coach that they hired this year is no good. Maybe the offensive coordinator who came from University of Washington is no good. But as someone who watches him mostly when he plays the Niners, like, I don't think the Niners are scared of him at all. Not at all. And I think he's quite scared of the 49ers.
Geno Smith, the biggest frustration with Geno Smith that I would have, and by the way, I was an honorary Seahawks fan for about 2.5 hours last weekend because I was rooting for them to beat the Rams, is that Geno Smith exudes zero confidence. Zero confidence. And he made 4 throws in that Rams game that you're like, oh my gosh. Not many guys in the league can do what he just did. But then he just makes the biggest what the F play out of nowhere. And then his demeanor is so awful. So awful. Players make mistakes all the time. I have zero questions about Brock Purdy and his confidence and his ability to bounce back if something doesn't go his way. I have zero confidence in Geno Smith to bounce back and exude confidence if something doesn't go his way.
Like Jimmy G had confidence to bounce back in a way that Geno doesn't.
Which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Crazy to say.
Yeah. So
that's hard to overcome, man.
I kind of feel like the Seahawks are going to lose by a lot again. And this might be the last time we have to see him as the quarterback of this team. Because, look, I mean, they're wasting their time. He's like almost 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
They should go get Anthony Richardson. They should.
Try something. I don't know.
I mean, I know it's too late now, but like either draft a quarterback or go get him or go get Bryce Young or something, man, because this is over. And I hope the Niners, if they win, I don't necessarily root for the Niners to win. I don't give a damn. But if they do win, just make sure I never personally have to watch Geno Smith play quarterback ever again. I'm tired.
What if they had Kirk Cousins?
Seattle.
Kirk Cousins
They'd be a lot better. They'd be a lot better.
Geno.
Yeah.
He's much better than Geno.
And you know what? He's in the same tier as Brock. I'm sorry. They get it done in a different way, but they're both good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really,
I mean,
the reason that the Seahawks are in last place in this division is because they have the worst quarterback in this division.
Oh yeah, and it's not close.
No.
It's not close.
Kyler's having you remember we talked earlier today in this show, is Brock Purdy an MVP candidate? No, but Kyler is.
Kyler is, yeah.
Kyler is. So that's all I want to say.
Kyler's playing the best football of his career right now.
That team is not that talented, and yet it's pretty good.